the chair is quite cool. I hope I can see my own slides, man. Okay? No lah. I like to swing this at people. Oh, hey. This one doesn't work. Ah, okay. There are seats here. How many of you are here for the first time? Here for the first time? No, I've seen you before. Regularly. Any more? For the first time? Ah. The rest of you have been here, what, every week, eh? Dutifully, you report for duty. Eh? What a shy class. Hello? Why? Should I wait or should I just get started? Huh? Are there others coming in? How many of you are familiar with Dhamma Chakra? Of course. How many of you are familiar with Dhamma Chakra? Don't be shy lah. We're not going to laugh at you when you say you're familiar. Any more coming in? You know, my international audience will think there's no one but me here. Could you all like laugh a little louder for the benefit of the crowd there? Do you know whether there are more people coming in? Oh, you're so sure. Because when we start, once we start, I ain't going to stop. You know, once, don't waste time, right?
Okay, while we wait, brothers and sisters, for the newbies who don't know who Sis Sylvia is, I'll just give a short bio. Since you said there are new people here. Sis Sylvia has dedicated herself to the study and practice of the Buddha's teachings since 1992. She holds a BA Honours in Buddhist Studies from the Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka and was a lecturer with her alma mater. Since 2001, Sis Sylvia has been a regular speaker on Buddhist doctrines and the practical applications of the Buddha's teachings at various Buddhist organizations. She has published 2 books titled Between the Lines, an analytical appreciation of the Buddha's life, Part 1 and Part 2. Can maybe some of you move forward so that latecomers can sit behind without interrupting you? There are lots of spaces here. Some of you behind, can you move to the front?
They got prime spot. They ain't going to move to the front. Never mind, we don't mind you interrupting and making your way through.
There'll be more people coming in.
Okay, I'm going to ask my same question because I didn't get a rousing answer. How many of you have heard of remotely heard of, kind of, someone mentioned the title before, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta? Show of hand. So few. Do you know it in English or Pali? Or Mandarin? Anybody know it in Mandarin? I want you to help me translate my next book. Okay. How many of you have heard of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path? The ones who put up their hand for Dhammacakka should also put up their hand. And the rest of you, never heard of. Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path also never heard of. Seriously. Okay, by the end of today, hopefully, you will be able to regurgitate in sequence the content. Okay? That's what we aspire to achieve. Aspire, because at the end of the class, I will just ask the same question. How many of you now can regurgitate? And that's where I see all the hands go up. Okay? Yeah. We have about 500 people here. Minus 400. How's that? Okay, shall we begin? Well, I'm only doing this class, and I hope you enjoy it. There will be a lot of notes for you to take down. We sent it out, right? Okay. You all have your own copies? Don't look at it, look at me. But you may want to write your notes into your handouts. Okay. Are you familiar with this book? For the ones who have read Dhammacakka, yes, I know you're familiar with this book. Anyhow, the Buddha's Dhamma, you know, I'm just explaining again. The Buddha's Dhamma, the Buddha's discourses were all collected into two categories of books. One category is called the Vinaya. A second category is called the Suttas. In the Suttas, there are 5 other sets. This is one of the sets. The 5th set, I won't go into details, but I'm sure it was mentioned before. The 5th set has many books, 15 books, something like that. But this particular one is called Samyutta Nikaya. So Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is found in this Nikaya. For those of you very on, you can go down to Evergreen. Evergreen, Kinokuniya, buy your own copy. Of BF. BF has its own. You know, you say like that, everybody goes that way. BF has its own copy of Samyutta Nikaya. Okay? And it is found in chapter 56, sutta number 11. I strongly recommend Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation. This is one of the best translations. Now, unless you can read Pali, you will probably be depending on translation. And there are many translations out there. Personally, I like Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, Bhante Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, because he is very precise. No adding or subtracting from the Buddha's, from the Pali version. Okay? According to Buddhist history, this particular sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, I will explain to you what it means, was unveiled, was the first sutta unveiled to the world. Meaning to say, when the Buddha had realized Nibbana, you know, under what tree? Okay. Under the Bodhi tree. How many years ago? Must do some work lah. Okay. Huh? Don't you feel good about yourself when you get it right? Yeah. Okay. So Buddha gained enlightenment, realized Nibbana under the Bodhi tree about estimated 2,500 years ago plus and minus 100 years lah. And after he gained enlightenment, he actually spent a little bit of time by himself in his retreat, enjoying the Nibbanic bliss. It actually took him a while before he decided, I think perhaps I will teach. You do know that initially he didn't want to teach. No, that was lecture 1. Lecture 1 would have been explained to you that initially he wasn't very sure if he wanted to teach the Dhamma, because in his mind he wasn't sure if people would really appreciate the Dhamma. He didn't think, he wasn't sure, not that he didn't think, he wasn't sure if we can really appreciate Dhamma. Do you know why? Sorry? Yeah, people are ignorant. True. Because he wasn't sure that people would want to do what it takes to realize Dhamma. The normal mind can't really understand it. So you need to do some things before you can understand the Dhamma. And at the point when he was contemplating whether or not to teach, his initial impression was, you know, if people don't buy this, people not interested, it's going to be very vexing. So no point. Okay? But anyhow, fortunately for the rest of us, he changed his mind and he went out to teach. So this, when he decided to teach, this was the sutta, Dhamma Cakka Pavattana Sutta. Dhamma, you know, doctrine. Cakka is wheel. Pavattana is setting in motion. It's establishing. Establishing, turning the Dhamma wheel. That's the idea. I will explain to you what it means. Huh? Do you know what essentially was the Buddha's Dhamma about? Everything, the essence of the Dhamma was captured in the sutta. In other words, if you tell me Buddha's Dhamma very cheap, I can't remember a lot of things because I old already, I can't remember very well. Then this is the only thing you must remember. This is the essence of the Dhamma. If you don't remember anything else about the Buddha's teaching, minimally remember Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths. Because just with the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, just with this, you can realize, you can see the Dhamma, you can taste Nibbana. Do you understand? You no need to very chim. A lot of things I cannot remember. Never mind. If you can just remember Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths, it's good enough. Okay? So don't come and tell me I am not good enough, I'm not intellectual, I don't even pass primary 3, and therefore not possible for me to understand the Buddha's Dhamma. You think his time got primary 3? All those people, some of them don't have anything. They were fishermen, farmers, seriously, farmers. All he did was plow the field. And honestly, just based on Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, the chap understood. Some of you will say, yeah, Buddha them all. Buddha said, if you follow the practice, no need Buddha there also can. Okay, he didn't say it like that. He would have said it in a more refined way. Okay? So, this sutta, which captures the essence of the Dhamma, the sutta is about how to be happy. That's why I say the essence, the reality of happiness. How to be happy. Why? Why is it our mind is constantly caught up, stressed? This sutta is how to de-stress, how to get it right. I'll give you some background. This is the storytelling part. First audience, 5 ascetics. Okay, you know the Buddha, when I'm going to retrace some of the earlier parts. You sat through the first lecture, right? Well, many of you did. Yes? Most of you not here on the first lecture. Suddenly, sound. Okay, you remember in the first lecture, I assume you were told that the Buddha practiced for 6 long years, yes? And then he almost starved himself to death. Okay, there were 5 people, 5 ascetics who were with him for about 6+ years. And they were cheering him on. They were cheering him on through thin. Why thin? Because when he was starving to death, they were very happy. Go, man, go, go, go. Yeah, you're on the right track, go. The moment he took food, they went, ayah, that's it. Then they got disappointed and they left. Okay? They were disappointed and they left. Now, you may not realize the significance of this. How many of you had seen friends suffering? You were with this friend and they were trying to achieve something, and then you were with them, and when they were suffering, you were with them. Then when they're almost dead, you walk away. Because that was what happened. They walked away when he stopped. He stopped his starvation diet. He was down to taking 1 grain of rice a day. And that was why, when he described his own practice, he said, when I pinch my skin in front, I touched my backbone. That was how skeletal he was. When he was down to that level, these guys saw him took 2 grains of rice. They said, wow, you know standard. And they left. So they left when he was on the verge of dying. You understand that? Yes? Okay. Yet, when he realized, these were the 3rd group of people he considered to teach Dhamma, Dhamma 2. Do you know who were the first 2? Former teachers. Good. The first 2 people that he wondered, maybe I should teach them. Look, you are going to unveil this teaching. First time you're going to bring it to the world. First time, you invented something, okay? It's brilliant, it's beautiful, you're going to teach it to the world. You must find somebody who is going to be receptive and will understand, or minimally will understand, yes? You surely cannot find a fellow you say, I sure cannot understand one, but let's go try. You will find somebody you think can understand. That is why the very first person he thought of was a teacher, a deep meditator, an ascetic like himself. The second person he thought of was also a teacher, former teacher, an ascetic, a practitioner like himself. But he discarded the idea because they have died. You didn't know that. You didn't know that because he didn't teach the 2 because they died. Well, they had passed on. Unfortunately for them, they passed on, one of them only the night before. Just that night before, they died. Quite unfortunate. Like, you're so cruel, you laugh so happily. And then the third lot, these 5 lot, and these 5, like the other 2, these 5 were also practitioners, okay? They were practitioners. Why practitioners important? Because their mind had certain mental conditions necessary for realization. You see, some people would say that he thought of teaching these people, out of gratitude, because they looked after him for 6 years. Remember when he was struggling to get 1 grain of rice, they were there cheering him on. 1 grain for you, don't take so many, just take 1 grain, right? So these were the ones who were looking after him. So some people will say, yeah, maybe gratitude, maybe lah, maybe. But the more important reason is definitely the mental conditions, okay? What are the mental conditions? Faith. At that point, we are talking about a belief that there is a way out. Now let me explain this a little bit more. How many of you have gone for meditation retreat? The rest of you never tried, huh? Never mind. What about going for meditation? Checking it out. Huh? Have done meditation? Okay, we assume everybody has. Huh? Why did you do meditation? Why did you go for retreat? Because I got nothing to do on a weekend, so let's go lor. Why did you go for meditation retreat? The odds are you feel that maybe something about meditation would help my mind be better. Maybe I can see my past life. How many of you are thinking of that? No lah. So the point is, when you undertake something, when you do something, you must believe that that something is of some value. It will deliver something that you want. Because if you were to do something without expecting anything, then the odds are your friends are all there or you don't know what you're doing. Odds are lah. So these chaps, when they left secular life to become ascetic, they must believe that in the practice, it will help me be enlightened, be something, which I will explain in a while, okay? So this faith, this saddha, faith, has to do with a belief that there must be something else beyond this life. There must be something else beyond this life. Life cannot be just like that. There must be something else. And we can find it. It can be found. Because if you say, I believe that there is something, but I don't think I can get it, then you wouldn't even try. Agree? If you think that realizing Dhamma is mission impossible, we must leave it to Tom Cruise. Because the rest of us can't do it. You see what I'm saying? So these chaps, these ascetics, minimally they believe there is something to be achieved at the end of ascetic practice, and they can do it. Number two, deep down they are good people. Because if you are not a good person, your mind is not pure enough, you will not be able to do the next part, which is quiet, calm, focus. This is the sati samadhi part, meaning you will not be able to meditate. So for those of you who are very keen on meditation, if you have not tried to minimally, I'm not talking about a very low bar here, minimally observe precepts, then it's very difficult to meditate. Very difficult, okay? And the fourth part, predisposition to leaning towards spirituality as opposed to being caught up in worldly pleasures. This is also important. So these individuals, these 5 individuals, their mind had conditions which are conducive to understanding his Dhamma. Okay? With that in mind, the Buddha traveled 256 kilometers walking. That's why he took so long. He didn't fly there. He didn't teleport. He walked to teach the Dhamma. You know, he walked 256 to teach Dhamma. We sometimes couldn't travel half an hour to learn Dhamma. That's the big difference. Okay? Oh, I threw in that 3.5 hours by car in case you want to visit. Isipatana, where he taught, and Bodhigaya, where he was. He was there meditating, he realized Nibbana under Bodhi tree in Bodhigaya, and then walked to Isipatana Benares to teach. 3.5 hours by car, because you ain't going to walk, right? You're going to take a car. Okay, first encounter. Remember, they're not impressed, huh? They saw him. They're not impressed. Initially, one suggested, let him sit down if he likes. This is in his sutta, in the sutta. Oh, sorry, it's in another sutta. But when the Buddha got near, they realized that something had changed. Something about his physical appearance and his demeanor was different. And then they couldn't stop themselves. They started fussing over him. In the sutta, it was said that they took his robe, they brought him water to wash his feet, they prepared a chair for him. They did what a student should do for him. But they made one mistake. They kept calling him Avuso. Avuso means friend. Then he kept telling them, don't call me friend. So they honestly didn't realize there was a difference. So they say friend. He said, I'm not friend. Don't call me friend. Friend. 3 times he had to tell them. He said that he's now Tathagata, he who has come, okay? And he was going to teach that. Now, the point here is, if they had not become softer towards him, if they had not sensed that change in him, and then they started fussing over him, if they had not become softer, they wouldn't have been able to learn the Dhamma from him. They wouldn't be able to hear what he was going to teach. Now, you ask yourself this, huh? Suppose, let's say, cast your mind back to the young days when you were in school and you had many teachers, right? There were some teachers you like, and you scored A+ for them. Then there were the teachers you really, really don't like. And some of you, not all, because some of you are very good students, regardless of the teacher, you will try. Some of you, emotionally, no affinity with that teacher. Guess what happened? No, you passed. C-. For the ones who didn't bother about the emotion, you continue to do well. For the ones who were very emotionally affected, lucky didn't drop into D, right? So the point is, this emotional affinity helps. It helps. I know, when you go learn from teachers, some teachers you see already, bo soft, don't want, go home. Some teachers you see already very soft, everywhere they go, you go. Okay? It's human nature. So this is something to bear in mind. Huh? Points to note. This came from the sutta. This is what the Buddha said. The Tathagata is self-awakened. I'm going to explain one by one. This is what the Buddha said to his 5 formal friends. The Tathagata, blah, 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 is self-awakened. In other words, there is intuitive knowledge and understanding. There is knowledge here, and he gained that knowledge by himself. There is knowledge to be realized, and he gained it by himself. I need you to see this because in your own practice, it's like that also. You are self-awakened with Buddha's help. It is still self-awakened, but with the Buddha's help, his Dhamma. Why do I say it is still self-awakened? Buddha can understand for you. Your wife can do it for you. The wife understand you, understand. No, right? You have to understand it by yourself. Then when you understood, you want so much to teach your spouse, the fella doesn't understand. Why you like that? Why you like that? Cannot understand. The fella says, I don't understand, means I don't understand. Get it? It's a self-awakened. You, by yourself, must gain the knowledge and understanding. As I said, with the help of the Buddha. Buddha got it by himself. Next one. The deathless has been attained. When you understand the Dhamma, you will experience a mental state different from the regular one. different from your regular mind. Okay? I will instruct you, I will teach you the Dhamma. In other words, knowledge can be imparted. In other words, if you are prepared to listen to the Buddha's teaching, you too can awaken and realize a different state of awareness. The method works, which is the next one. The method works. It's a method of training. It's a method of training. You can pick it up. If you do it correctly, you can understand and you can taste the different state of awareness. Get it? Knowing and realizing it for yourself in the here and now. This is very important. It is not you buy now, die already, collect dividends. It is if you practice and practice correctly, here and now. Buddha's not playing hard and fast with the words. Here and now, in this life, you will taste it. You will experience it. Some of you will be going, huh? Others will go, I know. Yeah? Correct. Which is the part? Huh? Who says, huh? Everyone say, yeah, I know. Okay, now, how would I explain this? Mathematics. Who is bad at mathematics? Because I'm talking to you. Me. I'm also very bad at mathematics. How many of you are really bad? You would declare yourself to be, I'm not good at mathematics. How many? All of you are, what, straight A student? How many of you say I'm bad at mathematics? I won't tell on you. Huh? How many? I know you guys are good. Yeah, but I'm talking about these ones. You know why I'm asking you? Because I'm going to ask you this. Algebra. You know, once upon a time, in that hellish state of existence, there was algebra. Remember that? Hello, all of you, remember algebra? How would you say the time before algebra, meaning you never understood what it meant? Can you remember how there was a before and after? What, never heard of algebra? Maybe we just do multiplication. How's that? Do you remember the time before you understood algebra and the time after you understood algebra? I know you're very, you don't want to Musa Wada, right? Musa Wada means tell lies. So you want to say that, yeah, I remember, but I also remember forgetting. So actually for algebra is, I don't know, I know, meaning I know how to apply, then I also don't know again. Correct? Most of us like that, I also like that, I know. Now, do you remember a time when you don't know algebra? Yeah? Then do you remember when you finally understood algebra? Because you passed your math, right? So you must have finally understood at some point. Did you see that difference? Like that, huh? Did you remember that? Okay, forget it. We will talk about percentages. For the ladies who go shopping, for sure 10%, 20%, you know. Huh? Do you remember the time when percentages drove you crazy? And now do you remember when you go down to Takashimaya? What's 10%, 20%? 30 is always better. Huh? That's the difference. A state of mind that doesn't understand, past the struggle, and then voila, I got the discount. You get it? Dhamma is the same without the discount. Dhamma is the same. There is a point in time when Dhamma is gongsimi. I have no idea what he's saying. Never mind. The teacher said memorize, I memorize. To a point when one day, while you were cutting vegetable, suddenly you realize, Oh, like that. That's the before after. Okay? Nothing mystical, because when you have your first glimpse of the Dhamma, you don't float. You don't levitate.